Hello, I am Ragnarok, and welcome to the Reckoning. So today we are going over the second of the Felgarth Sub-factions, House Stormcaller. We'll go through, we'll look at all the decorations and utilities they get when you pick them as your sub-faction for the Felgarth faction. And then we'll also go over the weapons and spells that are unique to them and all that. If you want to take a look at the Felgarth themselves, if you're looking at to pick them as a faction, we have a showcase video showing all the items that Felgarth gets. It's not fully updated, so it is missing a couple of their newer items, but all the items in the video are still existing items to them. We also have done the Felgarth Sub-faction quest video that will actually show how to actually complete the quest line so you can join one of the two sub-factions. Also, we do have the Holy Syndicate, which is the other of the Felgarth sub-factions. We do have a showcase showing them, so you can do a compare and contrast and decide which one you actually want to join. So let's get into it. Okay, so first item we have when you join the House Stormcaller sub-faction is we have the High Elder Blade. So this is a one-handed sword. You know, nothing crazy as far as, what it does. It's a one-handed sword. Let's take a look at it real quick. Okay, so here's a nice little close-up of the blade. It's nothing crazy again, like I said, but it's a nice design. It's a nice, simple design. I like the actual point of the blade and stuff like that, so there's a nice look for you. As far as the weapon itself, it is a one-handed weapon. It does give bonus agility, nice high durability and stuff like that, good damage and things like that. There are two versions of this. So at level 80, when you join the sub-faction, you have your normal base items, and then at level 120, they have a feat that you can pick, which I'll show you right here. There's your Felgarth. There's a level 81 when you choose the sub-faction, and then the second one, House Stormcaller Magus, level 120, and here's all your elite gear. So there is an elite variant of the High Elder Blade, and we can take a look in this instance. Damage and penetrations change all the time, so that's why I'm not actually putting it on text on the screen. But you can take a look here. This will at least give you a comparison of what the difference is. So this is the normal. Oh, this is actually the elite one. The normal one's right here. So we go from 58 to 63 in this instance. Again, that could change. You'll get an extra couple points in agility for your bonus agility, but otherwise, the elite variant is just a better variant. You do need the previous version to craft any of the elites, just to make that know. So when we go over all the other elites, just know that you will need the normal version in order to craft the elite variant in most cases. Okay, so the next item is the Staff of Seladium. So this is an offhand weapon. So as you see, if I'm using my light attacks or my heavy attacks, it's actually not attacking with the weapon. I can equip a sword if you want. It doesn't change the attack of the sword. It's as if you're not holding anything in your left hand. You can kind of think of it more of a shield, except for it doesn't add a different attack combo. And what the offhanded weapon in this instance does is it gives you a control ability. So if you do your kick, whatever your kick button is, on most PCs, I think default is control, you will cast a spell. And it has a double knock, so we'll throw them in the air. We'll do a pushback also, and then it also causes a burn debuff. So it gives you about 2 stacks. Does a decent amount of damage, just like most of the other magic. More points in accuracy will increase the damage to any magical spell, including ones done by magical weapons. Okay, and here's a nice close-up of the weapon. Just wanted to give you a nice look. That's a little too close. There we go. Nice little design, some nice little, carvings and stuff like that, like the gem and glow. So it does give a nice little light aura around it. It's nothing big, but it does help a little bit. As far as the weapon itself, decent damage. Again, that's the damage that the blast is going to do, and it gives bonus survival. Okay, so the next item is the Tempest Shield. I really, really like this one. It's a little different than anything we've had before, at least in the Age of Calamitous. So there is an elite variant of it. As you can see, the shield 51, and then goes up to 56. Higher durability by a good amount. 5,000 durability is pretty massive. Again, these numbers can change because they're always being balanced, especially newer items get balanced quite often. But at least you can see what the item looks like. So there's an elite variant that you get at 120. And let's take a look at it. I'll hold my shield button, and we'll do vanity mode. There we go. And as you can see, let's see if I can... Let's turn around and have the mountains to our back. Yeah, that might work a little better. There we go. So as you can see, it's a pretty cool shield. You know what I'll do? I'll turn it to nighttime in a second so we can actually see it in the dark. But I really like it. It's got that really cool eagle on the front. It's got a little bit of a 3D effect. It's not just a flat item, which is really nice. It's got the little curvature and stuff. I really like this shield. The look is just cool. And there you go. There is nighttime. just to give you a look. So again, this shield just awesome. And I mean, if you're running around with it, your friends are going to see you and stuff like that. So it does give off a little light aura, nothing crazy. But again, it will make you more visible from a distance too. But awesome shield. I like it. Okay, so now we're going to go over some of the decorations. So one of the first decorations, I've always loved this statue. It's been in the game for a very long time, but this is the Zavaron statue. I think that's how you say it, whatever. Either way, it's decent sized statue. It's got a pretty nice big footprint. I think it's a 2x2 if I actually centered it on these squares. But what I like, it's got glowing eyes, but this little orb right here just gives off a good amount of light, and on top of a build or in the front of a walkway for a build, it's actually really, I just like it. It looks really good in the dark, especially from a distance. But yeah, really nice statue. Next, we'll show off some of the light sources. The House Stormcaller gets 2 of them. You get the regular candlestick, which right here, as you can see, you turn it off, turn it on. And then this is a really nice addition. This is the ceiling candlestick. So again, off and on. So this one's really nice. As you can see, it's about 2.5, almost, maybe a little bit more than 2.5. It's almost 3, 2 2/3. Let's say that. So it's a pretty good height. So you'd actually need a pretty tall opening to actually, or high ceiling to actually fit something like that in. But it's actually kind of nice because it does reach pretty far down. We do have the new banners. Same as all the other banners, small, medium, large, and then the one on the pole of the House Stormcaller again. If you watched any of my videos, you know that I love color and banners. Decorating walls is one of the things that's pretty hard. I mean, it's not hard. There's a lot of stuff to decorate walls in the game, but adding color to all the flat color, or to just the flat color of builds and stuff like that can sometimes get a little more complicated. And banners, anything with banners and colors helps a lot. You know, it just adds a little pop of purple or blue or red or whatever. So I like it. The symbol is really cool. It's got that eagle, so good to go. Okay, so next we have the armor that you get for. So we have, let's show it. We have the Tempest robe, and then we have an elite variant of it. So medium armor gives max cold protection. So it's like the Frost Knight armor. It gives double the cold, so you can pretty much wear this in the coldest places. It gives a bonus to agility, so you're going to get an extra armor boost, although it kind of, once you get to a certain number, it kind of levels off there. Either way, what I'll do is let me show you what it looks like. I have the head slots actually hidden, but I put it on the male and female character. It's pretty cool. I actually prefer it. Let's hide it again. I actually like it a lot with the head slot hidden, as I do with most armors I actually wear. Because I like the collar design. It's actually one of the few armors that actually doesn't have a really high collar design and stuff like that. And it actually blends pretty good with like the longer hairs for the most part. Beards don't interrupt with it too much. But either way, it's a nice little modification of one of the existing armors in the game. And it actually dies really well. And here we are. We'll just take a look. This is the normal set. We'll just click on each one just so you can see the current stats of them. Like I said, these numbers always change, so try not to focus too much on them. But it does give a really good amount of armor for what it is. Next, we are going to look at the pet for House Stormcaller, which is Rotbranch. So House Stormcaller, if you haven't really noticed by now, is a nature magic type faction or sub-faction. If you go Holy Syndicate, you're going more arcane magic. This one's going to be nature, so they get Rotbranch. So as far as the stats, take a look. So I max leveled this one. Again, all leveling is all RNG, so you're going to get different stats and stuff like that. But 23k in this instance isn't really bad. You know, a decent amount of this one didn't really get a lot of strength and stuff like that. Got a lot of vitality though, so and survival, so whatever. But decent stats, decent size. I mean, this is a massive thing. It actually used to be smaller, I think, but one of the most recent updates it got big. Either way though, that's what you're looking at for a pet. And let's take a look at where you craft it. Okay, so we are here at the Frost Temple Smithy in the Frost Temple, and that's where you're going to craft Rotbranch, as you can see. Like I said, I try not to focus on the mats anymore because the mats are always changing, but for something that it's not easy to actually, you can't just go to like the Iron Smithy or the woodworking bench or whatever, something that's in your base. I'll show the mats that it currently takes. Plus the pet ones don't seem to have changed that much over time as they're being balanced, so this is probably going to be what it is for a while. But either way, that's what you're looking at. You have to come to the Frost Temple Smithy with these mats. I believe all the pets take 250 honor tokens. Could be wrong. Either way, Actually, let me know in the comment section below if you actually want to see a honor token grinding video or something to show you how to get honor tokens easier. That might be something that would be cool to do in the future. Okay, and last for the decorations, we have the bookshelves. We have version A, B, and then large A. So this is version A right here. As you can see, good amount of storage. We like it. And this is A. And when you're Felgarth, you get the abilities to craft books. There's like book A, B, and C closed. There's A, B, and C open. There's a couple other ones. The only ones that do anything in this, I believe, are the closed ones. If the open ones do work, which I don't believe they do, but if they do, it doesn't change. I've tried all the books in here. What this looks like does not change depending on what book you put in there. It's the same animation. But if you put a book in there, at least one, you will turn this bookshelf into this bookshelf, which is kind of cool. It's something we haven't had before, so you can decorate a room, have some with books, have some with no books, have some with books, so you can make it look like a nice little library and stuff like that. I mean, it's definitely a step in the right direction. I really like it. The cool thing too is once you put a book in there, these bookshelves will start generating gossamer. So basically, you're getting like cobwebs and spiderwebs in your bookshelves. So that's kind of cool. Over time, you won't get it if you don't put a book in there. So this is version A. Here's version B. I really like this one a lot, actually. It's a little bit wider. It's almost a full square wide than that one. It's got all these empty pockets like here, but when you put stuff in it, it's not just books. And again, another book closed. But you start getting like herbs and stuff in it, so that's kind of cool. Little potions and stuff. Again, it's just another way to make the change it up a little bit. And again, you're going to generate gossamer. So the next one I really, really like. I'm really proud of this one. So this is bookshelf A. Now what this one is, and I wanted to demonstrate it here, is it's exactly 1 square wide and 2 tiles high. So as you can see, it perfectly touches the ceiling tile on 2 squares. So this literally, a lot of times when you place stuff on walls, actually as you see here, I didn't put these on the wall, but you always have like this overlap in the back, and it's kind of weird. Which is fine in most builds, but it's actually nice to have. I mean, it's not 100%. I mean, you could kind of squish these together, but then I have these centered on the square. So, I mean, it's not 100% exact, but if you actually had a wall here, this would be clipping into the wall a little bit. So, if this was like in a corner. But either way, same thing with the books. Put a book in there. There's that. Really, really nice to make in the library. And the cool thing you can do with it is I did in this instance is I actually put them back to back. So, as you can see right here, right, and then I clip them into each other just a little bit, so it's almost like a seamless. You could actually do a little bit of a better job than I did there. I've actually got it where you can't actually see this little seam right here, but you will see this seam. But either way, as you can see, you can make it like a back-to-back, so you can make like a center aisle in the library too, so that gives a lot of options. Sometimes when you have decorations like this, you can't clip them inside each other, so that's really, really cool. There's no special mod that you need to do that. But I think it's a nice addition, and it opens up a lot of different stuff. Okay, so the next item we're going to go over is the Ring of Rotbranch. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but either way, it's a ring. It goes in your wrist slot. Now, what's really cool about this is a unique item, and actually I think this is going to be a very OP item when doing specific raids, is it gives a special protection. So let's check to see what type of protection it gives. So right here we have a nice Scourge Reaper. We're going to kill it. We're going to go inside of it. We're going to get the stacks of the Alarican Plague, and as you can see, those stacks are disappearing. So now I'm getting stacks again, and they disappeared. So every 5 seconds, this will update. If you run out of this. So we're no longer getting stacks, and it removes it. So what happens is every 5 seconds, the Ring of Rotbranch will actually clear every Alarican stack you have. Now, granted, you're not going to want to stand in the plague like that, because the first time it does it, it's actually really fast. But the second time, 5 seconds of 4 or 5 stacks could actually be a lot of life. So you're not going to be able to survive. You're going to lose a good amount of life while doing it. But if you run out of it real quick, even with 10 stacks, you probably will survive. It's nice having something that actually gets rid of the Alarican Plague. We do have an orb, which we actually had an orb, magical orb video. There is an orb that actually will give you a buff. I think that one it removed a stack every 10 seconds, which is actually definitely not as nice, but it's still something. So every 5 seconds, pretty strong. This is actually, again, this is something I would definitely use when fighting certain corrupt creatures and stuff like that. So, okay, so now we're going to go through the magics that the House Stormcaller gets. Now, we do have a magic series videos going through in-depth of each of these magic types. Currently, we have these two, Fire and Earth, out. Air is coming out soon, although it might already be out by the time this video gets released. So stay tuned for that. Either way, we have a whole series. They're meant to be watched in line because each one builds upon each other. But either way, I'm just going to showcase briefly each of these spells here because this is more of a showcase video than a tutorial. But if you want to get more about in-depth stats on these spells, watch the specific video for the magic that we go over. So the first one we're going to look at is going to be the Stun Boulder. As you can see right here, again, this is exclusive to this faction. I'll take a look at the stats right here. As you can see, health damage 1, so it does nothing, which is good, actually. And it does knockout. So, let's take a look. Now, as I suggested in the Earth Magic video, you're going to want to equip this on Earth Magic 0, as I call it. It's the Earth Magic without a number. And that's the reason is because it does no damage. Because you don't want this spell to do damage, and the main reason you don't want to have to do damage is because it's a truncheon. It's a magical truncheon, as you can see. It's a good amount. Now, in the Earth Magic video, we actually compare this to all the truncheons in the game, and if I remember right, this is actually the strongest truncheon in the game. There's nothing stronger, whether it's vanilla, legendary, or the Age of Calamitous truncheon. So this will be the best way to knock people out, although it is also the most expensive. All right, next we're going to go over the Starlight spell. As you can see, there you go. There's mats again. This one's a pretty expensive one also. And we'll click on it right here. As you can see, again, not damage. It is a light source. So why I like this video a lot, or this magic a lot, not this video, is because it's basically a magical flare. Each one of these lights up for about 30 seconds. Pretty nice. If you're in a dark area, this is definitely something you're going to want to use. It's actually my favorite version of the torch. Granted, you have to cast it, and it does use up one each time. It's kind of costly to craft, but I mean, end game when you have a lot of mats, it's probably not going to be that big of a deal, and it's kind of cool to show off. And we can see, let's see how high we can throw it. Let's see if we can throw it all the way up there. There it is. So you can see you can throw it pretty far. Okay, next spell we're going to go over is the Rain of Fire. Pretty expensive spell, as you can see, due to the firepower gems, although that's always being balanced, so who knows, maybe they'll turn it down at a later date. Here's the stats right here. It is a magical projection, area effect, and decent amount of damage. I do have my accuracy turned up high at max, so I do have 50 points in accuracy right now, which will increase the damage of the spells, just for sake of the video. Alright, so we're just going to show off the spell. Don't worry about the damage. These guys are going to heal regardless. But this is the Rain of Fire spell. It causes a burn debuff. The burn distance is pretty big, and the spell itself looks really, really cool. Actually, let's do it a little farther out. I don't really mind if it doesn't hit them. And in the Fire Magic video, we do go over how much damage it does do. Next is the Call of the Storm. This is actually my favorite spell added to the game currently. Again, pretty expensive, but it is a pretty awesome spell. And then let's take a look. And this is actually done at the Air Temple. Again, area effect, decent amount of damage, and I will be showing this one with max accuracy. As you see, you get a big cloud, dark cloud up there with lightning, and it pops down lightning. Now, what it does is it does the stacks of lightning debuff. It basically acts like a burn. It's the same thing. The damage is actually really similar to a burn debuff, so you can just look at that. It's a unique symbol and stuff like that, but it's just a burn. And I wanted to show the Call of the Storm in the dark, just so you can see what it looks like. Little cooler looking in the dark. And last but not least, we have Divine Light. So Divine Light is another Earth spell. So as you can see, they get 3 Earth spells. One of them is an attack. The other one's a truncheon. And this one is a healing spell. This is, again, the most powerful healing spell in the game. So it's also a pretty expensive one. But let's take a look at it. And again, 0 damage because it's a healing spell. And it is an Earth Magic, which you're going to want to put on Earth Magic 0. Now, granted, with the Lightning spell, again, we're not showing off damage stats. So I had it on Earth Magic 0. You'll want to probably put that on Earth Magic 5, but it doesn't really matter. Again, watch the Earth Magic video if you want exact stats on that. But either way, Divine Light is a healing effect, a spell. It will heal anything within the dome that it casts. So let's take a look at the life on this one real quick. As you can see, we're at 12,000 XP. And we're going to cast. And as you can see, that life is going up significantly fast. Now, the really cool thing about this is it heals everything inside this dome. So you can see this is a pretty massive dome. If you run outside the dome, you will not get healed. If you run inside the dome from outside, you'll start getting healed the second you get in it. The awesome thing about it is it will actually heal any allies, so any humanoid NPC or any humans and their thralls that are within this dome. So again, this is a really, really cool magic effect. It'll actually last a while, and we do go over the stats in the Earth Magic video, so check that out. But this is a really, really cool spell, but it also is massively expensive. Okay, so that is a look at the House Stormcaller sub-faction. Like I said, we have a bunch of magic videos coming out soon. We have a bunch of other videos to go over, showcasing a bunch of the new stuff to the game. So make sure you hit the subscribe button so you get notified the second the new video gets dropped. Make sure you leave any comments or questions in the comment section below. I do read them all, or I do my best to at least. Also, if you liked the video, hit a thumbs up. It definitely helps out the video or the channel extreme amount. So if you do like it, if you're enjoying the showcases and the format, hit that thumbs up. Helps me out a lot. Also want to give a huge shout out to our Patreons and our lead Patreons. Thank you so much for everything you all do. If you're interested in becoming one of the Patreons, hit the link in the description below. They have a lot of really cool exclusive and early access content that they get access to. So check that out. Otherwise, thank you so much, everyone. I'll see you guys in the next video. And as always, fear the reckoning.